capitalism seems to have assumed that we do, and it can be extracted without dooming the entire planet to being hollowed out and destroyed. And that's where my career in economics began. That was where my interest in economics began, because I thought that we were assuming that land, natural resources, were infinitely available, and therefore we could continue to consume them without destroying the planet. But we now know there are limits to land. So there you are. Capital is a very distinctive, it's quite distinctive from land. The two should be treated quite separately. Capital is man-made and accumulated by man. And the problem with capitalism is that too much of the capital itself and the power that goes with it is accumulated in the hands of a very tiny minority.
I think that's a critical point. First of all, I entirely agree with you about land, and I think that this confusion has existed for a long time. A lot of economists, from the time really that the neoclassical school developed, began to treat land as a free gift of nature, which could therefore fall outside any of the equations that they needed to consider when undertaking their mathematical approach to economics, because, well, it was free. There was no price to it. There was no cost. Therefore, it didn't need to be included in the calculations. And I feel that's been a glib, false, inappropriate assumption that has had, of course, enormous consequences for the world. I think that the idea was probably implicit in the classical economists as well, but it became so much more important when maths became involved and it was explicitly excluded from the calculations. So we have that distinction to make. I think you make it.
Could I also come in there? You are absolutely right. Land was explicitly excluded. And I think that was deliberate, partly because, of course, at that time, imperial economics was the flavor of the day, and much of neoclassical thinking was shaped in the late 19th century by imperialism and colonialism. But there was another thing that was implicitly and explicitly missing from economic analysis, and that was power. And that's part of imperialism as well.